The lack of black managers in the Premier League has been a worry all over the country for a long while now. The departure of England legend Paul Ince from Blackpool is bound to focus minds on this problem. Ex-Arsenal defender Brendon Batson has some really strong views on this subject.
Well, I think the lack of black ethnic managers throughout the game, the professional game in England, and this is my personal view, which is shaped by having spoken to players who are during their careers and coming to the end of their careers, what they're going to do post-playing. They don't see the same sort of encouragement to go into coaching and management and the same success rates as they do on the playing field. And if you don't feel you've got a chance of success in your chosen field, why are you bothering to go into it? So there is that lack of, I think, encouragement. There's a visible lack of numbers, and the numbers don't lie. And I do think that we'll always have a Chris Powell and a Chris Hughton. We'll always have that. There are a number of coaches who are progressing as well. But I could literally name all of them, and that's an indictment in itself. So I think there has to be almost a sea change. I think we have to see much more visibility. And I think clubs have got to look at their recruitment processes a lot better, with a lot more. They've got to broaden their horizons. I think there's a lot of managers being recycled, as we see all the time. You know, managers having 5, 6, 7, 10 opportunities, where I think the black managers, one, they're limited in numbers, and two, their opportunities. You get one chance. People talk about John Barnes, obviously. There are a lot of white managers say we only had one chance, but I just think the numbers don't lie. It's qualifications based over here, so to manage in the Premiership you have to have your pro licence, which is the highest qualification. It's all UEFA based. To manage in the Championship you have to have your A licence. So the encouragement for the black coaches here, the black and ethnic minority coaches over here, is to get those qualifications, and then we will see if we've got enough qualified from within that section of the community. We will see whether or not in years to come they're being given an equal opportunity as well.
Okay, so going from that, how are you encouraging then black and ethnic people to, you know, go up to go and get those qualifications?
There are different ways that we're encouraging that race for qualifications. I mean, the whole game, I manage something called the Coach Bursary Programme, which is on behalf of the whole game. So the Premier League, the Football League, the FA, the PFA and the LMA have put money into it. It's a 3-year programme, and this is geared specifically to the black and ethnic minority coaches, male and female. So what the idea of the scheme is to pay for the qualifications, make a grant towards the qualifications. So in actual fact, the bursary will pay for 90% of the qualifications. An A licence, in round figures, costs about £4,400. So the bursary will pay 90% of that. The candidate will pay 10%. The second part of that is that I try and place them at clubs, which I have been doing. We're into the second year, and there's about 8 of those coaches from year 1 have been given part-time roles within clubs. So the clubs are seeing their ability. It's about visibility, and they've been placed at clubs, and on merit they've been given roles within those academies, looking after different age groups or different teams at the different age groups. So I think that's one good initiative. I think the more we see people being encouraged and progressing on merit within the professional game, that would help. So the more that happens, the more encouragement to the next generation of black players who are thinking, am I going to be given a chance in the game? When they see previous players of whatever level progressing within their coaching ranks, then I think that acts as a very good incentive for them to carry on doing their coaching qualifications. For those who've got ambitions of going into coaching and management, not everyone wants to do it, but there's a lot of them do want to do it, but they're discouraged because of the lack of success that they see. If you can see people succeeding in their chosen profession, then that does act as encouragement. The reason why black players have come to the fore over many, many years from when I started my professional career in the late 60s, when there were hardly any black players. It's amazing when you see the successes now. I can remember when the African nation players started to come through over here. They're the top players in the world now. So the integration of black players within the sport is nothing surprising, but you can see the acceleration from the 70s. What we haven't seen is that sort of transition from playing, the success of being players, into the highest levels of the game. You know, and I think back to people like Ruud Gullit and John Tigana, who had the foreign tag on them as well. Great players, they were player managers, Hule was a player manager, they get the opportunity, inevitably, unless you're Alex Ferguson, you get the sack. That's the nature of the profession. But we don't seem to have progressed from having 5, 6 black managers every year to building on that, and we're down, let's say, to 4. But in a top flight, we only have 1. And I think that is almost, if you want to be level of criticism in the game, it's almost an embarrassment to the professional game, because it shows a lack of enthusiasm for employing people from the ethnic minorities. And there's only one group of people who can do that, and that's the owners. And at the moment, we've got new owners, there's new ownership all the time, and yet there seems to still be that lack of enthusiasm to appoint black coaches and managers.
Yeah.
So then turning the tables, people have deemed you as a racist in a sense for arguing that there should be more black managers. How did that make you feel? Because then they say, surely if you're doing something to encourage black managers, then why shouldn't the same be done for white managers?
Yes, I appreciate that people take that view about calling me a racist because I manage this particular scheme. But the response to that is, this is not, you mentioned the Rooney Rule. In America, they have positive discrimination. We have which is illegal over here, but we talk about positive action. We're taking positive action. We are seeing a lack of representation within our coaching structures of coaches from within the black and ethnic minorities. The FA strategy is to try and encourage more coaches from that section of the community, and we're now taking positive action to try and address that underrepresentation. I make no apologies for being involved in that whatsoever, because, and we talk about male and female. So on the program last year we had, I think it was 50 bursaries we gave out, and 4 of those went to females. So we're trying to encourage coaches from that section of the community, because they eventually will go out and they will show through their hard work and dedication that they can become successful, hopefully. We don't know where we'll take them, but at the moment we're seeing early successes in that we've got part-time roles for these coaches. So nobody can, I mean, I'll argue until I'm not black in the face, blue in the face, but that this is something that's needed within the game, because the game, in a way, is proud to have those people from the black and ethnic minorities as players, and yet don't seem to want to encourage them to become coaches and managers. The other people have got a different attitude, and black coaches said to me, Brendon, why do we need to have something like this? Because, I'm never going to play the race card. Well, I'm not playing the race card. All I'm saying is, we are trying to encourage those people from that section of the community to take that bold step, and we're going to help them do it. Because why do people invest in themselves? If you're an academic or you want to get on in a chosen career, you invest in yourself. Why are you going to invest in yourself? And this has been said to me by 1 or 2 academy managers. They understand why maybe people don't want to invest in themselves in terms of taking coaching qualifications. I mentioned the A licence, nearly £4,500. Why are you investing in yourself when you can't see the opportunity for even to get a reply to a letter to say, can I would like to come apply for this job, I'd like an interview, etc. A lot of people just aren't getting a reply. So why are you investing in yourself when you can't see any success? Particularly for those players who are at the height of their careers, and say, some of them have said openly, we don't feel clubs want to appoint black managers. I'm not saying that myself, I'm repeating what some black players have said to me. So I think the more we can look to encourage, and I think the game will be better for it. And I think clubs have got to look at their recruitment policies and not just rely on, I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. Throw it out. Let's talk about open processes where you look to get the best person for the job. At the moment, I'm not sure clubs are getting the best people for the job, because there's a lot of people out there who may have talent but just aren't being given the opportunity. What I do think we need to do is to try and show that there's a process which is open and transparent and allows people with the right qualifications to have an equal opportunity, irrespective of their colour, race, creed, etc. At the moment, I don't think that happens. But what we do need is to have those people from the ethnic minorities community to have the proper qualifications. Without the qualifications, you're not even going to get a chance, because it's now a qualifications-based industry. So the first step is get the qualifications, prepare yourself. It's a long journey to try and get to the top. There's no such thing as an overnight success in sports, not just to my football. So it's a long journey, and I think you have to prepare yourself so when an opportunity presents itself, you have an even chance to throw your hat in the ring. Now, unless there are transparent and open processes, then it's all a waste of time. And I think that's where clubs have got to look at their recruitment processes and not just rely on somebody saying, I know somebody who I think will do a good job. Well, what's his qualifications? Well, he's done this, he's done that. Yeah, but, you know, there's got to be more than that. All the other industries do it, and it should be done in football. I think the numbers don't lie, and therefore you do feel that there's a certain amount of racism that comes into it. Because we're all human beings, and particular likes and dislikes can influence your decision. That's why you have to cut through all that, and you can say, if you prepare yourself, and you then see a lack of opportunities across the board, in terms of being interviewed, etc., then you can start using an argument that says there is something more than just a lack of enthusiasm. There's a race issue here.